Welcome to the Sacred Success Summit, where you access the secrets to sacred success and become even more of the goddess you've always known you were. Ranchelle Van Bryce is a dynamic force dedicated to helping women live their purpose and manifest success in all life facets, from professional achievements to creating a new relationship with their business. As a business intuitive, sacred commerce coach, author, and host of a podcast TV show, she excels in illuminating each woman's unique potential. Co-creator of this summit, Ranchelle is eager to introduce another inspirational guest. Take it away, Ranchelle.
Well, you know, I'm always eager. So I love it. I love it. Thank you so much, everyone, whether you're here live, listening to the recording, perhaps maybe we're out in podcast world with the time that you hear this. Super excited to have you. Nicole, whoop, whoop. Glad you're here. Thank you. Thank you. Right. Awesome. So first and foremost, I always love, and I do, this is one of my favorite things is to read people's bios. Because I always find out something about someone that I think that I know. And I'm like, really? That happened? And so please allow me the honor, and truly for me, it's an honor to introduce you formally. So yay, yes, yes. All right, so Nicole is a no BS, oh my goodness, I've experienced this, sassy, fun-loving, mental fitness soul coach who's transforming lives one mindset at a time. Nicole knows all too well the tug of war with self-doubt and the disempowering stories that roll around in our heads. Instead of being consumed by fear, she chose to embrace her authentic truth. And now she's on a mission to empower those who feel stuck in the mud puddle of confusion, doubt, fear, and those who just don't feel that they are enough. Can anybody relate to that? Tell me. Hands up. Can anybody relate to that? Get ready to tap into your own greatness and step boldly into the life you've always dreamed of. Yes, I'll have some of that, please. Drum roll. Woo! Thank you. Yay! High five, girlfriend. That's awesome. And so before we get into these juicy paradigm shifts that you have, please share your story with the audience.
Oh, well, thank you, Ranchelle. Thank you so much. Yeah, you know what? I was a professional people pleaser. How many of you out there are professional people pleasers?
I love that.
I'm recovering. Yeah. So in fact, my sole profession was taking care of people, being the good girl, doing what was expected of me. And I was an expert in wearing all of the masks that I thought people wanted from me. And so I kind of lost myself in this, or maybe I didn't really ever take the time to discover myself, because this, started to happen in my 20s. And so in 2016, I felt completely broken beyond repair, except there was this little voice, just this knowing that I was meant for more than what I was experiencing and putting out into the world. And so I had this deep, deep longing. I was just so afraid to listen to that longing, and I didn't even really understand it. And so I knew I was being called for greater than what I was experiencing in the moment, and yet I was riddled with fear. I had zero self-confidence, and truly, at the end of the day, I didn't even believe in myself at all. I don't even know if I really even liked myself, and so I go as far to say I didn't even know who I was. I loved my roles. My titles, mom, wife, sister, not a sister, I'm a sister-in-law, but, all those titles that we have, and I loved those roles, but they became my identity. And I knew that if something was going to change, if something actually didn't change, that I was going to live the rest of my life with incredible regrets. And with that longing of what if I could have, And what if this is actually happening for me? What if it was all for purpose? And so I realized that in all of my discontent that I was experiencing, it was the common denominator, and I was the common denominator. And so if it wasn't up to my husband to love me more, it wasn't up to me finding the perfect career, it was up to me to discover me. And so I went on this journey to build my own self, to trust, to fall in love with myself, and to really get to know who I was. And I always say the good, the bad, and the ugly, and yet there's no ugly within us.
Right.
And so as I started to embark on this journey of coming into myself and getting to know who I was, I started to see results in my life. My life started to change, and it started off with small little things, and then it started to get bigger and bigger. And so now that's what I want to share with others. And so if you're listening to this and you can resonate with my story, for those of you who has those longings, those things inside of you, that's fire that's burning, and that's what I really desire to bring out of people. And so why am I an expert? Because of my authenticity and my experience. My life has allowed me to be the expert.
Yeah, I love that. And who, I mean, I think there's so many people that can relate to the feeling of like the loss, the confusion, the I'm not enoughness. I mean, I know that. And I think even more importantly, when people look at us, so I'm going to put myself in that, and they think, what, you feel that way, or you felt that way? And I remember even having a conversation with someone who I really thought was like this most put together woman. And I was saying, I just had this like underlying theme in my life of not enoughness. And she goes, oh my God, me too. And I was like, what? I was like, what? Because I had put her on a pedestal and then realized that in conversation with her, that there are so many of us that feel that way. And so I think that's why our stories are so important, because we can be the role model for people and say, yeah, like on the outside, this is right. But in the inside, I was dying, right? And no one knew. Right?
Again, it's the masks. It's the masks that we wear, right? Nobody actually sees the true self. And even when you look at yourself in the mirror, you're putting on this mask.
Yeah.
And yeah, and it's story that brings us all together. And it's like the Me Too movement, right? It's like, really? You too? You have those thoughts?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Absolutely. Bethany says, yes, I'm already crying. So yeah, right. Sending love to you, Bethany. So Nicole, thank you for, I mean, again, your authenticity. I've experienced your authenticity myself. I experienced your like no BS, but you know that I would say your no bullshit attitude. Like I'll actually, I'll drop the swear in there. Right. Yeah. And owning that now of yourself, like, right. Not being afraid to like call people out on and in a loving way. I mean, that's what I love about being in your space is it's always done with honor and love.
Yeah.
Right. I think that's so important. And so then why don't you share with the audience your first paradigm shift?
Oh, I'm so excited. So people will tell you that if you got a dream, just go for it. Feel the fear and do it anyways. That's just such bullshit.
Anybody ever say that or have someone just feel the fear and do it anyway? I know I've said that. So I'm like, okay, so thank you. Right. So,
Right?
so you're saying bullshit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because, at the end of the day, when you're sitting in that dream and looking at the other side, a lot of us don't even know that what the dream is. We just have this little, like, all I can explain how I felt is just this little spark, this energy within me. And it was like, I don't even know what the dream is, because like, who am I? What have I done? What do I have to say? And then there's some of us who have a dream, and it's like the how gets in the way, and it puts
Mhm.
you in a state of paralysis. And you know what? At the end of the day, that fear is real. It's real. And if
Mm.
you're like me, I was raised with the idea and the generations of my mother and my grandmothers and my great grandmothers to serve others. How
Yeah.
dare I have a dream for myself? It was about having a dream for my family, about having a dream for my boys, and this career that I was supposed to eventually land on. And I was so, some of you are listening and you've been taught, get the education, go get the job, climb the ladder of success, go, 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 go.
Yeah.
Be a
Yeah.
good girl and follow the rules.
Yeah. Or go for your dream, right? Even that, right? And I love, because your title really ties into that, right? So of your talk, which is your service is selfish, which in itself is a paradigm shift, because you're like, well, is that good or bad? Because we do that, right? We start to label, we start to like, I'm the good girl, I'm the rebel, like I'm the bad girl, right? So like in my family, I'm the black sheep, right? And so we start to wear those labels, which also can be the masks then, right? And so, and that leads to a whole other like talk, right?
There's so much under this. And what I really want to bring home today in regards to this paradigm shift is that the whole idea, how can serving others possibly be selfish? And it's, where are we coming from in our patterns, right? Our patterns have said that it's noble to serve others.
Mhm.
And you know what? It's fucking suffocating us. It's suffocating us, because at the end of the day, we're going to wake up and go like, where am I in this? And really what's happening is, when we just are on that path of serving, 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 head down, just at the grind, we're actually feeding our egos,
Mhm.
because that's where we get our fulfillment. That's where our brain, our saboteurs, our inner critic says, good girl, you're doing it all right. You're living your purpose to take care of your family. You're doing the career, right? And that's where I get to put my head on the pillow at the end of the night and say, well done. Well done. Look at what you did for everybody else. And so we get this, that's where we gain our affection from others, by others giving us a pat on the shoulder and saying, yeah, thanks for doing that. You just made my day. And that's where our fulfillment, our self-acceptance comes from. And that's just feeding the ego. And the ego comes from our patterns of behavior. And you've heard probably so many speakers talking about mindset. And it's really about getting under, what are those patterns, and how do I now start to change the way I think? Because our thoughts create our beliefs,
Yeah.
and our beliefs create our actions, and our actions create our outcomes or our results. So if you're not liking the results you're getting, you got to go all the way back to the thought
Yeah.
and change those.
Yeah.
And yeah, so
It's interesting that, and so I really would love people to sit in this. And so I want to ensure that I have it. I'm understanding it at a deeper level. So when we say when we're raised, so it's conditioning, or we just say, we come into afterwards and I'm being of service. And so part of what's selfish about that is, if we're in service, in order to be validated and valued, right, then that's not being of service. Oh, look at in the background, you've got this like woohoo going. And so that's not being of service. That's actually you're feeding your ego, like you're correct, you're right, you're the good girl. And so it's a really fine line to actually be in service, right? For the greater good, or for whatever, however people want to verbiage that. And doing it for selfish reasons, in not even being aware. It's like an unconscious selfish is what you're saying.
Well, it really, so if you look at the whole thoughts create beliefs, beliefs create actions, actions can create your outcomes. Most of us are living in the feeling place where we just feel good when we get a compliment from somebody. But when you actually go back, have you ever been, let's ask our audience, when was the last time you said yes to something when you actually meant no, when you were so friggin' exhausted at the end of the day and you were like, yeah, okay, I'll do that. And then you get ready to go and you're like, why am I doing this? It's those moments where we get to ask ourselves, why am I doing this? What's under this? Is it FOMO, fear of missing out? Fear of being left behind? Okay, then there's a thought there. That's not your truth. Again, our thoughts are not our truths. They're not. Our thoughts are just like clouds that float around along the sky, and they come and they go, and we have thousands of thoughts a day. You don't even know the thoughts that you're having. But when we get good at oh, there's the thought. Now you're empowered to change the thought, to notice the behavior, to see the pattern. And it's not about being good or bad or labeling these thoughts. It's that, there it is. What a gift. And I get to make a new choice for myself. And so, although the people pleaser in us, in me, would say, oh, they're going to be mad at you if you say no. It's about me saying, and that's okay, because I know my truth. I know what I need in this moment. And I know why I'm saying yes to this or why I'm saying no.
Yeah, beautiful. And I'm sure that relates to, as we're already like halfway through, if you can believe it. I know I could chat for hours with you. And so then that would lead to your second paradigm shift, which is?
So you're feeling like, damn it, man, it's my time. Who's woken up on January 1st, said, this is my year. This is my year. I'm going to get her done. And
who hasn't?
Right? Woo. And it's because why it's not your year, why you're not going to get it done is because you think it's selfish to live your dream, because you haven't gone back to the thoughts. Why? Take time for yourself. I mean, who's going to do all the things? If I'm out working and building my dream, whether your dream is your vocation or your career, or if it's a volunteering, but if I'm already going, from pillar to post all day long, serving if I take myself out for some time, shit's gonna hit the fan, man.
Right? Yeah. Who's gonna do it? I mean, who's not done that? If I don't do it, who else is gonna take care of it? If I don't do it, who's gonna do it? That's that selfish piece that's connected to it, right? It's like, oh, my ego is telling me that no one else can do this.
We've been ingrained as women that we are the ones to hold the shit together. Such a way.
It's
and
so
when
such
we get to show up more as our authentic selves, like I said, when I learned how to love myself, the good, the bad, and the ugly, my life started to change, and yet my time didn't change.
Right. I love that. And so I actually just dropped some links in there for everybody, of course, because you have, I love this, an inner critic assessment is your gift for everybody.
It's so much fun to be able to, this stuff doesn't have to be heavy and be like, oh my gosh, I'm so screwed up. It doesn't have to be. The assessment is just a fun way of actually finding out, are you a high people pleaser? Are you a high hyperachiever? So it's just such a great way of figuring out what the patterns are.
I just clicked on the link because I can't wait. And I know I've heard you talk about this before. And so I'm really excited to be a part of that. And so then your VIP gift for those who have your VIP ticket is, so the VIP gift is it's your turn, it's your time, a 21-day journey to ignite your true essence and rediscover the amazing you. And so, so yeah, share a little bit about that. And then let's go into, because we only have 4 minutes left. So let's go into your sharing this and then your last paradigm shift.
So the 21-day transformation, it's a transformation challenge. So it's like 5 minutes a day that you're going to get a video, and it's going to be a sharing, just a very short task that you're going to complete, and they're lots of fun. Sherry and I have done these videos together, so I mean, if you know us, it's so goofy, and so it'll make you laugh. But yeah, a way that you can transform and really lean into that true essence of who you are, and just have some fun while you're at it. So
well, yeah, for those of you who have not seen Sherry and Nicole work together, like, I mean, I'm always laughing, right? Just you have such a great sense of humor. And so then your last paradigm shift for the audience.
yeah, so you may be feeling that your purpose isn't important, and that it's too late for you to step into it.
Yeah.
And that, again, big capital BS.
Yeah.
Because really, you were brought to this earth for a time such as this. And how dare you not share that energy that's in you, that's bubbling. It's only you who can do it. Yes, your message might be very similar to mine or Ranchel's. You might be on a similar path, but the message, the impact can only come from you. So when you hold yourself back from stepping into your purpose, your dream, you're affecting the world. Our energy is all one.
Right.
And it has to come from you. Like I get so many goosebumps.
Yeah.
And yeah, how dare you not? And so if it's fear, if it's people pleasing, whatever, when you do that assessment, you're going to get a real great idea of what it is that's holding you back, what's sabotaging you. On January 1st, when you wake up and you're like, yeah, I got this. And January 2nd shows up and you're like, yeah. What it is that's sabotaging you? Let's look at that. Start there. And I love the quote that Bob Proctor says, you are the only problem you will have, and you are the only solution. You're it. You're it, baby.
Yeah. And that is, I mean, I think that is so empowering. I mean, the first time I heard that, I was triggered. I was like, you don't know what my life has been. And then when I sat with it, and I was like, okay, like, what if that was true for me? How could that unfold? Like, how would my life be different? Right. And so what I hear you saying is that when you accept that things just like, so in our last minute together, one more drop of wisdom from you, Nicole, please.
Yeah, I guess that if I could give you guys one thing, it would be there is nothing broken about you. You have always been enough. You will always be enough. And when you change your thoughts, you will change your results. And so I just want to say that there is no magic pill. There is no magic message. There's no magic speaker that's just going to nail it. You got to step forward and take the chance. And it's not about feeling the fear. It's about what's actually going on. You must first look inwards. And when you look inwards, you are going to discover the person that you will love the most. And finally, I just want to say that your dreams matter. That little bubble that percolates sometimes, it matters. Your passions matter because you matter. And I just want to scream that to the world.
Yeah. I love your passion. And, as you're, sharing this and what I've witnessed within you is the awareness that you have about which saboteur is is driving the bus. And then your ability to assess it with love and confidence and empathy for yourself and others. So that because you do have that. And And the tool that you use is so cool. The tool that you guys use is so cool. So I want to say that. So for those of you, again, just grab that link right now. I know I grabbed mine. Thank you so much, everyone. And I can't wait to see you on the other side. Come and join us in the lobby.
Thank you for joining us for another amazing session on the Sacred Success Summit. For more information or to apply to be a speaker at one of our upcoming events, email our team at breakthrough@clarityconfidenceconnection.com. Now, tune in to another transformational speaker.